So Trisha, every time she'd have Miyu wrestle over here in America, so when guys would say girls can't wrestle, watch her. So the Japanese are way ahead of us.
How do the what's the for high school teams, for example? Because I know in Chicago or Illinois, a lot of the schools they have like a boys and a girls wrestling team, right? And what are your thoughts on just how to do it the right way or the best way? It just depends on, I guess, what you have at the school, right?
Yeah.
The resources and things like that.
That's true. You mean as far as men and women training together?
Yeah, but and also just how to do it the best way.
I think that they obviously they have different competitions. I think that it's healthy for them to be training together to some degree, not necessarily with each other, but you're also, like you said, resources. You don't have, so you have to train them in the same room, same time usually. But I think it's helpful to all of us be on the same page. Technically, I think the women are going to have different needs than the men. Like, some men have different needs than other men as far as what they need as an athlete. But I also think it's important to nurture and cultivate more women's coaches. I think that'll be an important thing going forward for the women as some of these women stay in the sport and go back and, coach their teams or coach teams. But I think women, I'm not a huge fan of men wrestling women unless it's in a practice, we're drilling environment and we're learning. But unless they're very young and before maybe the boys reach puberty or something, yeah, absolutely, we can wrestle them all together. Once they hit that, they get that man strength, you don't want them wrestling each other. But training together, I think absolutely.
Because it's the ego. Maybe the boy gets mad too, right?
Yeah, and it's just there's a strength difference, in a young man and then there is a girl. They can be the same weight, but the boy's a lot stronger. So it doesn't really work after 12, 13 to keep them competing together.
Yeah.
But training together, yes. I mean, obviously we have to sometimes too, but I think there's a lot of benefits to them training in the same room. Again, it starts with the coach, right? What kind of environment are you going to create? So, yeah, I think the women and the men can train together, not necessarily with each other, but in the same environment
Right,
for
right.
sure. Have the same access to the same information. That's huge. If you're going to teach the men, you teach the women, and they may need a little different technical things to the women. Their bodies move different. They are much more flexible than a guy. A technique that might work on a man doesn't work on a woman. I mean, you can put a guy's leg in the air, and he's probably going to go down. You can put a woman's leg up to her head, and so there are some different feels. Wrestling a man or a woman.
A little bit different, some slight things.
Yeah.
Slight differences.